Hey, welcome. Today we're going to talk about something that I think is universal, how the music we fall in love with actually becomes a part of who we are. We're going to use Michael Sartori's book, Tents Before Temples, as our roadmap to explore how the songs we blasted in our youth can end up shaping our entire life story.
So, right off the bat, I want you to think about something. Just take a second. What band, what album, what song was the soundtrack for you growing up? You know, the one that you felt deep in your bones, the one that made you think, how did they know? This song is about me. Just keep that in your head as we go through this.
Now, for the author, this was a massive conflict. I mean, imagine this. You're a pastor's son. On one side, you've got the forbidden fruit, this powerful, heavy, incredible music like Metallica and Led Zeppelin. And on the other side, well, the Christian bookstore had the alternative, bands like MXPX that, to him, just felt, I don't know, like a watered-down copy of the real deal. It was a choice between the music that felt dangerous and alive and an alternative that just left him feeling empty.
And that feeling, that dissatisfaction, it kicked off a journey that so many of us go on, right? A search for something authentic, something that felt real. It was a quest that led him from trying out rap all the way into the very heart of his local hardcore music scene.
You know, he didn't find his people, his tribe, in a church youth group. He found it right here, in a sweaty, blacked-out rock club. He was surrounded by friends who were playing in bands, pouring their hearts out into this loud, passionate music. This place, the fire escape, that became his real sanctuary.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This whole scene, it had this massive paradox at its core. On the surface, it was all about being tough, aggressive, hardcore. But hiding just beneath that tough guy exterior, pretty much everyone was hiding the exact same emotional secret. So the music you were supposed to like, the genre that got you respect, was melodic metalcore. This stuff was super intellectual. It would pull from philosophy, from scripture, but it would wrap all that meaning up in this really complex poetry and then deliver it with these guttural, inarticulate screams. It was kind of all about posturing, about looking smart and tough.
And then there was emo. And this was the secret handshake. In public, you'd make fun of it, you'd call it lame, but in private, driving in the band van on the way to a show, everybody was secretly singing along at the top of their lungs. Emo was the guilty pleasure, because it did the one thing metalcore refused to do. It was brutally, unapologetically honest about feelings.
I mean, just listen to this lyric from Dashboard Confessional. It's not some huge poetic statement about the human condition. It's just a simple, perfectly captured teenage moment. You're driving on a cold night, your head is a mess, and the window is fogging up. That's what emo did so well. It gave a language to those everyday, complicated feelings and made them feel important and universal.
So he's caught in this tug-of-war between the brainy posturing of hardcore and the raw, honest emotion of emo. He's still looking for that perfect fit. And then he found it. The one album that brought everything together and finally made sense of the chaos.
The album was The Moon Is Down by a band called Further Seems Forever. And for him, this was it. This was the moment. From the very first track all the way to the last, it was just pure musical perfection. An album that spoke to him on absolutely every level. So what made it the one? Well, it was this perfect synthesis. It had all the power and the cool instrumentation of the hardcore scene he loved, but it paired it with these incredibly sincere, heartfelt vocals. And the lyrics? Oh man, the lyrics just struck this perfect balance between being poetic and deep, but also telling a clear, emotional story. And you can actually see how special that combination was by looking at the band's own history. Their first singer, Chris Caraba, wrote these really direct, powerful lyrics. But when he was replaced, the new singer's lyrics were much more like that hardcore scene, kind of poetic but also emotionally guarded. It just proves how rare and special that original sincerity really was. Okay, so this whole personal journey is fascinating, but what does it mean for the rest of us? Well, it points to these bigger, universal roles that music plays in all of our lives, from the way we work to the way we connect with each other. Seriously, think about it. Music isn't just background noise. It's a tool. It's the rhythm that keeps a construction crew working in unison. It's the anthem that tens of thousands of strangers sing together at a concert, creating this incredible, powerful sense of community out of nowhere. It's a space where we're all allowed to feel something real together.
You know a genre that does this incredibly well, even if people like to make fun of it? Country music. At its absolute heart, country is about storytelling. It has this amazing ability to take the super specific, everyday experiences of one person, love, heartbreak, working a tough job, and make them feel completely universal. And that right there, that gets to the core of what we're calling musical sincerity. So much of pop music today, it kind of isolates our emotions, right? It sells us the idea of partying without any real celebration, or sex that's totally detached from love and connection. Sincere music does the exact opposite. It plugs our feelings back into the messy, complicated, and beautiful reality of our actual lives. So this brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. The most powerful music, the music that sticks with us forever, does way more than just entertain us. It actually gives us the stories we use to build our own identities. When the author heard lyrics like this one, he wasn't just hearing a cool song about a relationship. No, he was hearing words for feelings he had deep inside himself, feelings of desperation and hope. The song gave him a language, a framework to understand a powerful emotion that he hadn't even been able to name yet. And that, right there, is the ultimate magic of music, isn't it? The right song at the right time in your life can literally hand you a story that helps you make sense of your own life, that lets you look back at your past with a new kind of understanding. And sometimes it gives you what you need to start the hard work of healing and moving forward. Here's one last, really poignant example. This lyric from songwriter Andrew Peterson. It's about a specific book, but it taps into that completely universal feeling of losing your childhood innocence and that ache of trying to find your way back to something pure. It's a story and a song that helps us understand our own stories of loss and longing. So let's end this where we started. That music you thought of, that band, that album. How did it end up shaping you? What stories did it give you? Because when you get right down to it, the really important question isn't just what music you listen to, but what stories that music is helping you tell about yourself,